Good morning, community. Good morning, everybody. It's so good to have you join us today as we get ready to go into Talk to Me Thursday. And I think it'll be a very relative topic. As I was saying to Jen on this morning, and the reason I keep looking down is I'm still sorting through my notes and wrapping my head around this nugget, this truth that God has put into even my spirit on this morning as we look at this final day of the process when it comes to our faith sister, our queen sister Esther. She's both, right? Queen sister and our faith sister Esther, to really understand how God moves and how he's positioning and how he's beginning to what is it called when soldiers are being put out and getting ready to do whatever they're going to do as representations of their nations or of their countries. Like God is sending forth those of us who are in the army of the Lord. That cute song that we used to sing, I can feel it becoming real in my spirit, man, in my mature woman that says, yes, we are soldiers in the army of the Lord. And it is not this cute pictation of us just getting uniforms and marching. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord, but it is being strategic about our thinking and recognizing that we are here on purpose, that we're here on assignment, that we really are kingdom citizens and we are kingdom ambassadors. And there's a real war that is happening even against our minds that cause us to have to be very intentional about pulling down thinking that allows us to kind of just be massaged into the fabric of this world's system, and to really understand that while the day-to-day of our everyday manifested living can begin to pull us into the conversations of bills and responsibilities and cooking dinner and exercising and all things that are a part of our physical process here in this earth realm. But we have to choose to be aware that we really are here for something bigger than just day-to-day living, that God has entrusted next generations to us. God has entrusted the laws of the land to us. God has entrusted the infrastructure and power structure of the nation to believers. And when believers really begin to wrap their minds around that and step into our rightful place, take our seats of authority and delegation and being the voice and the manifestation of God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven, then we get up each day with a different perspective about the next steps and about the next moves and how we're supposed to navigate this world. And I don't want it to feel overwhelming to you in the sense of, man, it has to be this huge something. And for some of us, it is. But for each of us, it is in this. The worlds that we are assigned to, God has given us the responsibility and at the same time, the authority and at the same time, the power to rule and to represent him. Can we meet for the first time in the comments today by just agreeing for his glory and for his name's sake? And then we're going to run on. Good morning to everybody while you're meeting me there. For his glory and for his name's sake. If we could wake up each day recognizing that there is a way that I can move in the conversation with my spouse, with the principal at the school, with the teacher, with my child, with my family member, on the highways, as I drive, when I walk in the store, when I go grocery shopping, when I swing through the dry cleaners, there is a way that I can move in my everyday living that causes me to be salt and be flavorful in this earth, that causes me to be light in darkness for his glory and for his name's sake. Like that is a practice to try to begin to think like that when I get up today, when I exit my home, when I drive down the street. Now, whether what gesture is going to come up? Am I going to do a you can enter or God bless you, or am I going to do something else? And whatever I signal, whatever I do, even as I'm just driving on the highway, it allows me to establish in this earth realm an action that is for his glory and for his name's sake or not. So I want us to just lean in quickly. I'm already off and running. And as I was telling Jen on this morning, not even all the way clear of where I am landing here, except that I know that as I was thinking about the lesson way over in the hours, I heard the Lord say, have you considered my timing? And Sister Arlinda, because I know you're normally tracking for me, will you just put that question there for people? Have you considered my timing? So we're going to lean in and we're going to do some theological processing. I'm going to ask you to think with me and talk to me as we begin to get into just our Talk to Me Thursday. So I'll start with this quick nugget. How many of us can say that we've heard that God's timing is perfect? God's timing is perfect. If you've heard that, you can hit the like bucket, the like button, or you can raise your hand, or you can put me. How many of you have heard that God's timing is perfect? And how many of you, I see y'all, some of y'all coming in, some I heard it, heard it, me. God's timing is perfect. And I would dare to believe that if we were being very, very honest, many of us, the same ones of us, myself included, who coded that, who said God's timing is perfect. If somebody was to pull us to the side and whisper quietly and ask us, what do we really think about that cliche? I am sure that some of you would say, like me, I've said that. And I really, in my faith, try to believe that. But yeah, I've questioned the timing of God. I've been disappointed by the time. I've been excited when something came through right on time. There are moments when I've wondered, where is he? Did his clock stop? What happened? Where is he? What's going on with that? Anybody else can admit, like, yeah, I've said it. I've certainly heard it, that his timing is perfect. In my everyday life, I've not always understood it. Sometimes I can definitely say that I've been disappointed by it. Didn't quite know how that not coming through in that particular hour, that could have then, as one of our faith siblings said to Jesus, if you would have shown up, she would not be dead. As even our faith sibling, Jairus said that about his daughter, or even Mary and Martha said that to Jesus about Lazarus, like, if you had got here on time. So it is a very real processing for mature believers, for those who are over just quick cliches. When we really think about the things that we say and we really try to elevate our faith and move with more maturity, I think that's a real acknowledgement for many believers to say, yes, I have said repeatedly, God's timing is perfect. But if I were to slow down and really have a lean in conversation about that, I can give you examples time after time again. Well, yes, he showed up. He showed up early. He showed up in the late in the midnight hour. He did turn some things around, but I can give you just as many examples of still being waiting on something and wondering, so when is God going to come through? Of being disappointed that he did not deliver it. It seemed as if his timing could have helped me to avert a situation that I diverted, a situation that I really did not want to be in. And I see you agreeing with me right there in our Talk to Me through a Thursday, but saying, yes, yes, I have felt it. Yes, I have said it and then been disappointed, where it would appear that his timing has not been perfect for me. And so I want to introduce us to just or not introduce, process with you some awareness that God has given me. Because when we look at Queen Esther, as I said on yesterday, Esther first was in conditions that were less than desirable. And our whole takeaway for that, those of you who join me, you may add your own takeaways as well. But those who are joining for the first time, our whole takeaway about that was that our blessings don't always come in a box with a ribbon tied neatly in a bow. And being just very clear that sometimes the open doors, the opportunities, the manifestations that God has for us, it's not quick and it's not cute like that. And so that was the first layer. But then, even in those less than ideal conditions, many of us would like to think that the timing is just quick and it's turn around and it's touch the altar and it's run around and it's roll, or it's touch a neighbor, and it's all manners of expressions that we do in faith culture that almost seem to project an immediacy about God's hand. There's this awareness that in the process yesterday, if you're meeting me there because you were here, you understood that there were moments where there felt like there was isolation, where it felt as if there was a falling away of connections, where it felt as if there was a falling away of what was familiar. It was the effort of putting yourself out there and potentially experiencing rejection. But the part of the process that I want to highlight today is just even timing. We talked about how even after enduring the process with the masses, there was still at minimum another year that Esther on the short list was going through a process. And if y'all remember, I talked about how there was a scrubbing away, a falling away, a dying as part of the process of putting away old practices and ways of being and things that we've always done. When opportunities began to open doors and new levels and new promotions and increase, we have the option to remain the same and to do and to move and to look and to navigate and to speak in all things that we've always done. Or we can take the exfoliating of the old self, and we can go in the growing curve and in the learning curve, and we can acknowledge, man, yeah, that is a thing that I've always done or always said, or a way of being I've always gone off or snapped on people or just done whatever thing it is that you do. But in that scraping, in that part of it, we get to choose. Am I going to grow? Am I going to continue being the same? Am I going to grow, or am I going to continue being the same? A quick example that the Lord brings to mind, and y'all know, as a person with a whole lot of words and a lot to say, even as I work at expanding my vocabulary, I have added the incorporation of a tool that sends me a word a day. And on this word a day, it gives me examples of how to use the word, and then it allows me to hear the word. I only highlight that to say that there's always ways to continue to grow, to improve ourselves, to put away old behavior. I envision myself speaking globally, right? So I want to continue to grow and to just shake away certain behaviors, or know how to shift and only do those things in certain cultures and in certain environments. You meet me out here as those places, or at the retreat center underneath the tree, honey, I'm going to say, honey, I'm going to talk about some watermelon and mom and them. But then in a different setting, I know how to use the word juggernaut and how to use the word Bezaltine and how to use my word of the day. I would look it up for y'all real quick. Oh, it's called bisextial. And that means the year that has the 29th day of February in it. I've often and only referenced it as leap year. And it really matters to me because today is February the 29th, and that's Zoe's actual happy birthday. We normally celebrate her on the 21st, on the 28th, or March 1st. Really, she be want gifts all month long. But anywho, that's her business. Zoe birthed 3 children in her birth month, myself, my brother, and my youngest sister. But the 29th is her birthday. And I normally say it's leap year. But now I have a new word, and it's bisexual. I need to go back and make sure I'm saying it right. But I highlight all of that to say, even in that, with all of my words and all of my degrees, I'm not settling like, okay, you good enough, just stay like you are. I have a word of the day that hits my inbox every morning, and I read what it means, and I listen to how to say it, and I'm practicing, and I'm bringing that all the way back to you all. And I'll tell her, I see you all saying happy birthday, auntie. I'll tell her, I'm bringing that all the way back to us to say there's a scrubbing process that's happening. For those of us who have been praying to God to open doors, to take us to new places, to give us opportunities, to give us increase and promotion, what we have to choose to do is, as the Lord is allowing us to grow, to sometimes feel his yes, you're doing great, to other time feel him pulling your shirt collar, saying, get that all the way together. We have to choose to be in a posture and with a heart that says, I can be pruned, I can be exfoliated, I can be changed. Because after those 6 months, then Esther goes through the duration of being anointed, rubbed down with oil. And I was telling Jen again, for those of us who thought that anointing process was a shh, and you're just anointed, this process, this pictorial of Esther's life allows us to see, that's not how it worked. So receive the process and the anointing of God that is shifting you, that is scrubbing you, that is moving you to your next in him. So in this process, the Lord allowed me to just really think about timing, y'all. So let's just lean in for that for a moment. For those of us who just really get it, that we have said God's timing is perfect, but we can sort through different examples in our life, and we could quickly say, that timing thing right there, that didn't quite do what it does. And so this is what I want to offer for your consideration. Have you considered God's timing? Let's run it all the way back to Genesis. Many of you know Genesis chapter 1 is one of my favorite books in the Bible because I believe that it reveals the true, organic, just kind of pure state of getting to know God for ourselves, because we get to see how he moves. And so one thing that I want to bring to your observation, I'll ask you to join me right here and talk to me through Thursday. When you reflect on Genesis chapter 1, what are some of the things that you know without a doubt God created? Just in Genesis chapter 1. Y'all quickly jump in the comments, Bible scholars on this morning. When you're thinking about, when you're looking at chapter 1 and just going from memory, I know many of y'all know the story, and if you're new to the faith, no worries, we got you. What are some of the things that you know in Genesis chapter 1 God created? Like without a doubt, you know, God made that. I see light, absolutely. I see day and night, absolutely. I see let's see, light again, the heavens and the earth, absolutely. I see the moon, yes, absolutely. I see heavens and earth again, absolutely. I see, let me, y'all give me some different ones. If you already see light, go ahead and switch up. We got light, we got order, absolutely. I see animals, absolutely. I see man. Yes, I believe that he did in chapter 1. I see the seas, absolutely. I see animals again, absolutely. We know that he created the trees and the herbs and the grass, absolutely. So there are lots of things that we know. If we were looking at Genesis chapter 1 that God created, I see birds, absolutely. He had them. You can find them in Genesis chapter 1. And some of you are probably answering as you ride. He created light so that there would not be darkness. I see trees again, absolutely. So when we're looking at those things, if we were to go back and look at Genesis chapter 1, you would see repeatedly so many things that God has that God created. Oh, fruit, absolutely. Oh, no. Let me take that back. Oh, yes, fruit by fruit bearing trees. Okay, I was like, did he? Yes, he did. He did do that. I was thinking fruit in a different context. So, yes, God created lots of things. But if you were to go back and look at Genesis chapter 1, we could definitely say there was fruit, there were trees, there were grass, there were herbs, there were animals, there were stars, there were moons, there was sun, there was day, there was night. There's just a host of things. But do you notice what's lacking there? Y'all get what's lacking there? Nowhere in that chapter will you find where God created time. Nowhere in that chapter will you find where God created time. God created time. You're not going to find that. Let me give you some quick theological thoughts about time. God is omnitemporal. Hear me. You're going to probably listen to this again and really process it and understand why this is so significant. In all of the things that the Creator creates in Genesis chapter 1, you will not find where the Creator created time. You're not going to find that. Lean into that and understand that God said, sun and moon, it is good. Day and night, it is good. Herbs of the field, it is good. Animals, it is good. Trees, it is good. Seed, it is good. Fruit, it is good. The stuff that he created, he then stood back from it and said, it is good. So we're very clear that he knows how to create. And we're very clear that what he creates, he is able to assess it and know if it's good. Note that he didn't create time. Thus, he has not put his stamp of approval on time as you and I try to process time. Anybody tracking? Because had God created time like you and I process time, God would have established that he created time. And then he would have assessed time and said, it is good, because God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So what we see God does it over and over and over again in pattern, so that we can see that his character and his ways are established, and we can move accordingly by processing, would God do this or not do this? Well, based on his track record, he would or he would not. So I get to know him. And so what I see is that he does not speak to time, and he does not give his stamp of approval on time as you and I try to process and live out time. And why is that so crucial? Because when we bring the element of time into our conversation, as you and I experience and express time, one, we acknowledge that that is not associated with anything that our good daddy God established. And we realize that much of the frustration that you and I feel in this earth realm, existing in the image of a God who never established this matrix for our lives, we realize that much of that frustration comes from feeling like I've been waiting a long time. I am running out of time. When will it be my time? You didn't show up on time. And there's a whole narrative that we have bought into about time that comes from this way of being in this earth realm that was never attached to the spiritual God that we really are from. I am created in his image, and in him, he did not exist in time. I'm trying to say that God does not measure things by age, by hours, by minutes, by months, by years, but it is the very thing that has so many of us frustrated. I'm wasting my time. I've been waiting a long time. When is it going to be my time? When are you going to come through on time? And because we have that in our stinking thinking, the thing that we say about God's timing is perfect comes from lip service, but we don't really mean it in our hearts and in our spirits because we keep trying to fit into a matrix that he did not create. I'm going to need y'all to track with me. Give me that thumbs up. Let me know that you get what I'm trying to say, because I'm going somewhere about the process. Somebody say with me, the process. Man, oh man, I don't even have time to teach y'all today about what the Lord done revealed to me. So hold with me and just let me give you a concluding thought. And we may have to revisit, but y'all tracking? Anybody following what I'm trying to say? My God, my God, my God. My God, my God, my God. My God, my God, my God. Y'all, so the enemy gets us to buy into a narrative that we're running short on time, that we're running behind, that it's too late, that I've almost missed my time, or when is my time going to come? And we are holding out and searching and building the whole rotation of our lives around a concept, around an ideology, around a made up variable that he did not speak into existence. Somebody say with me again, the process. So this is what I am clear of. We took things that God created, like the sun and the moon. He called it day and night. We took things that he created and we used them to measure time. When God was not speaking to time, God was speaking to purpose. Hear me. We use what he created, like the sun and the stars, to set a matrix for measuring time. That's how we know if it's midnight or if it's in the morning or if it's lunchtime. But God was not communicating time. God was communicating purpose. He didn't hang the sun in the day because it was noon. He hung the sun in the day for light, purpose. He didn't put the stars and the moon into night so that we would know that it was 8 p.m. He put the moon and the stars into night so that there could be light. That's purpose. God is not measuring in time. God is measuring in purpose. And so the enemy would have us tracking the value of our existence in measurements of time. Have I run out of time? Am I too old? Am I too young? Have I got started? And God is speaking in increments of purpose for my glory and for my name's sake. Not is you're finally 40 or you're 12. It's for my glory and for my name's sake. And I can give you examples. I just don't have the time. That's why Jesus was in the temple questioning and having conversations with the scribes and with the teachers. And the folk were focused on his age and that he was only 12 years old. They were assessing where he was based on his age, which is a measurement of time. Jesus was where he was in the temple because he was about his Father's business. He was moving in purpose. The people were assessing him based on time. Y'all lean in. Even when Jesus' mother went to him and said, "We've run out of wine. Can you turn this wine into water? We need some wine." Jesus said to her, "I can't, because my appointed time has not come." He wasn't talking about whether it was 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock yet. He was saying the purpose for which I have been sent, it hasn't come yet, so I can't do that. He was moving in time. The process, y'all. Many of us have become frustrated in the process because we are assessing the process through the lens of humanity. And whether we're 60 or 70 or 80 or 50 or 40 or 5 or 12, we're assessing it in months and years. It's took too long, and it's taking up too much of my time, hours and minutes. And God is not moving like that in the process. And if we don't recalibrate how we endure the process, we will forfeit the process because we are assessing the productivity of the process based on time. He is a spiritual being that we are trying to translate into our physical worlds, but he will not allow us to force him to move in our temporary matrix of how he moves. He will either allow us to forfeit the process based on our temporary assessments of timing, or we will pull down stinking thinking and we will say, for his glory and for his name's sake, for the sake of the call, for the purpose for which you have created me, I'm going to stay right here, and I'm going to be molded and mended and go through the fiery furnace and be scrubbed, and I'm going however long for the duration of the process until I get to the manifestation of the promise that is associated with my purpose. For however long that takes, or how quickly it rapidly comes, I am going to do what I have to do to get through the process so that I can get to the promise that will allow me to move in purpose. I done said a whole lot today, and it's time to go, y'all. I got a whole lot more I could say, but I'm going to pause. And I'm just going to remind us that God is omnitemporal when it comes to our process. He does not exist, sis, in time, in minutes, in hours, in years, in age. He don't exist in that. He doesn't exist in intensity, y'all. He don't exist in that. That's why he says he was, he is, and he is to come. He's past, current, and future all in one. And if we don't pull down stinking thinking, if we don't pull down stinking thinking and quit disqualifying ourselves because it's too late and I'm too old or I'm too young or I've waited too much, I wasted too much time and I can't get, if we don't stop and pull down stinking thinking, and somebody keep practicing with me, because I'm telling y'all, I'm practicing. I'm in this world, but I'm not of it. I'm in this world, but I'm not of it. I'm in this world, but I'm not of it. For his glory and for his name's sake, practicing elevating myself out of the muck and the mire of earth living and earth thinking. I'm on a mission. I'm called. I'm anointed. I paid a price. Privately, he's scrubbing me. Like all of that. When we lock in, Jackie, I see you with me on this morning. When we lock in to a different mindset, y'all, God can do exceedingly abundantly. Y'all, I've been telling God, even as I age, I've been telling God, my eyes don't have to succumb to this earth world system. My joints don't have to succumb. My wrinkles in my face don't have to succumb. You don't exist in time. I'm traveling through. It's deeper than black don't crack. It's deeper than that. And happy Black History Month to everybody who black. And then to the allyship who with us for supporting us. I just remember it's the last day of that too. Happy Black History Month. Happy Love Month to everybody. Last day of that too. But we ain't gonna stop the love. Everybody lean on the love button. Happy birthday, Zoe. And Zoe's kids. All of that. But y'all, we ain't gotta think like that. We don't have to move like that. We're created in his image. I'm just trying to help us. It's time to go. If y'all got y'all half a nugget on today, half a nugget, a little good nugget. So what's your takeaway on today? Y'all, God's timing is perfect. But we try to translate his timing through our lens. Just settle with this. It ain't gonna make no sense. It ain't gonna make no sense. Literally. Y'all know how the Bible say his ways are not our ways and his thoughts are not our thoughts. That time and peace, I'm working at just letting it go. Because what I understand is that God moves how he moves for purpose. So the healing's not going to come when I thought it. The marriage show ain't come when I thought it. The deliverance is not going to come. That win is not going to come in the time. But I'm confident in this. Man, oh man. But I'm confident in this. Our scripture for this year, he who has begun a good work in you and me, he gonna complete that thing. I'm not gonna give up on that thing. He's gonna complete it. Why though? Not according to when Gina thought it should have happened, nor Jackie, nor Teresa, or Darkest thought whatever it is y'all are believing for should have happened, but he's going to complete it when it is the primary moment for his glory and for his name's sake. He gonna come through, y'all. Bet on it. Hold on to it. But it won't be according to the measuring clock that we got. It's going to be for his glory. Man, he going to heal when the doctors say it ain't nothing else. He going to come through. He going to show up with him when somebody says, you know what, she ought to just give up. That's going to be an old man. He going to let birthing come forth when somebody says she's so barren, can't nothing. Y'all, I am so thoroughly convinced I can find you example after example after example of our faith siblings for whom timing, according to how we do time, somebody said it was too late to the point of never. He showed up for his glory and for his name's sake. And he's going to do the same for me and you. Because somebody meet me in the comments as we prepare to go. Same God. Same God. That's why we got to know him for ourselves. That's why we got to trace his character and his patterns and get to know him for ourselves. Because I would have almost given up. But that I believed in the goodness of the Lord, in the land of the living, because I've seen him do it. Y'all, I can trace it. I can track it. God ain't moving according to what we call time. God's moving according to his purpose. Same God. Y'all done got a nugget today. I hope you have. I mean it with my whole heart. To the sis who is about to forfeit it. Because you can't see how it's going to do what it needs to do by the time you think it needs to be done. Hang in here. Y'all, let's keep pushing. Let's keep growing. Let's keep changing. Let's keep checking ourselves. Let's refuse to settle. Let's not give up. The only role we have in this, listen, so that you can do something about your doing something, is to trust and obey. And I don't mean that in a cliche. I really mean that. I really mean trust and obey. Stop looking at our stopwatches. Stop looking at our clocks. Stop analyzing our biologicals. Stop all of this stuff. All you can do is try to be clear about what God is saying and obey that. Try to move like he told you to move. You don't know in his timing if it's going to be your first step or your 50th step that's going to cause you to collide with that open door that he already has destined for you. You don't know. Because God ain't sitting up here, honey, it ain't Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday to God. So you don't know. What you do know, though, and what you can do, and the part of your faith without works is in peace, that part is for you to be as clear as you can about what you think he said for you to do and for you to do that. Now, whether he gonna come through in December or not, we can't speak to that because it ain't December in God's book. No way. Whether he gonna do it by the end of the year, I can't speak to that because it's not the end of the year in God's book. No way. He not moving according to that. So when I was like, then God, what do I do if you ain't measuring by times? And that's all I do, honey. I know it's the end of the month. Lord, let me see where I am with my goals. If that's how I'm moving, God, then teach me how to move in alignment with you. He said, trust me and obey me. You just do what I told you to do. You just do what I told you to do. And you quit talking to me about time. Get this full circle. Because if you run back to Genesis chapter 1, I ain't never talked to you about time. You stop talking to me about time. Because if you go back to Genesis chapter 1, I ain't never talked to you about time. You just do what I said for you to do. Be fruitful, multiply, have dominion, walk in authority. You do your part and let me worry about manifestation. Y'all got it? Trust what he said, whatever he said to you, and just try to obey that. Y'all tracking, Sabrina? What, kind of clear? All right. I love y'all. As always, I honor the greatness that's on the inside of y'all. Check in on the video. Y'all know our prayer partners are going to be here praying in the morning, calling your names. You say you got it. Absolutely. I love it when you get it. Man, I mean it with my whole heart. Y'all don't give up on God. Ooh, because he won't give up on you. I done felt a song in my spirit, but that ain't my calling. But I'm going to work on it, though. Anywho, y'all check in on the video. Run all the way up to the top. Tag a queen friend who you feel like this lesson could bless them. Let's grow the community. Because I'm going to say it for myself. We got good, wholesome teaching on over here. And everybody welcome. Honey, it don't matter what denomination. It don't matter what church family you're a part of. Here in the community, honey, we just all in the body of Christ. It don't matter. So y'all tag girlfriends, get them here. Let's grow us. Let's grow us because we have solid, good teaching that could help us and rescue some of us that are about to give up on ourselves. Let's get it, all right? So I'll see y'all right back here in the morning for prayer. Make sure that you check in. As always, I honor the greatness that's on the inside of you.